Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Lunch and Learn session. Today, we'll be looking at the Maxhub range of non-interactive or commercial displays. So on the call today, we have Craig Dooley from Maxhub, and we've also got Kelly Price from Maxhub as well. So taking you through the presentation will be Craig. Craig, all over to you guys.
Thanks, Scott. Much appreciated. For those attending today, really appreciate you making yourselves available. Obviously, this time of month, it's really tough to get involved in these, so we really do appreciate you taking half an hour out of your day to join us as we take you through the Maxhub non-touch digital displays, which are arriving in country in April, which is really exciting. So what we'll do is we'll jump straight into it for you. If you have any questions, please let us know. I think you can post those in the chat, which I think Scott is monitoring for us. So we will jump straight into it. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through a few different things today, just go through what some of the pain points we're finding in the market when it comes to your sort of conventional type meeting spaces, some of the key features around our non-touch displays, and then just take you through some sort of recommended solutions that we sort of have in the market that are out there, and what we're seeing on a day-to-day basis as the types of opportunities that are available to you as a partner. So we'll start off with what some of the pain points are that we're finding in standard meeting rooms. There's obviously a lot of larger type conference spaces are using projectors. Some of the issues you obviously have with that is the lighting in the room can have an impact. Generally, a projector is not as clear and crisp from an image perspective. Having to use multiple different brands of hardware to come up with a solution, particularly around screen sharing, which is a little bit more difficult. And obviously, you can have from time to time, you can have issues with that working and working well together. And generally, when you're using multiple brands in this type of scenario, you'll find that but all the brands will point the finger at each other as to who's causing issues. So at Maxhub, one of the things we really pride ourselves on is that we think we've got a whole range of solutions, not just our non-touch, that can all work in well together. Using one brand can really give your customers some reliability on what they can do. Also around screen sharing, just what you can block from a privacy perspective. So what information is being shared on the screen and to whom within an organisation can be really, really important. You don't want people walking into a meeting room and seeing sort of information private and confidential that they're not supposed to. And as I've already touched on, just speaking about having to attach third-party audio cameras and video, and speaker equipment to really run your meetings. So they're really some of the issues that we do come across. Other things that you might also find is around system compatibility and connectivity. So what can you connect and what you can't connect can be a little bit restrictive when it comes to using those sort of traditional type solutions. And so that's what at Maxhub we're trying to overcome with our customers. So when we get to our non-touch digital displays, they're all 4K image quality and they're designed for business. So we'll go into a little bit more detail about what we mean by that shortly, but things like slim bezel around the outside of the panel. So it's designed to go into a corporate environment where you can attach multiple screens together. Also, we have our own wireless screen sharing technology built into all our digital displays, which gives you real flexibility and versatility as to what you can do around your office, which I'll take you through, again, some more examples shortly on that. The ability to use whatever device you want to use, whether it's Windows, Apple, Android, being compatible with our panel is really, really important. So not having any restrictions as to who and when you can use your device. And then from an IT perspective, very important that you can manage your devices remotely. So being able to control what content is displayed, being able to have a look at usage reports, things like that. Really, really important to an IT division of a business, knowing that they can control and manage all their hardware remotely. And then obviously having its own built-in media player for delivering content is really, really important. And that's what our digital displays will deliver for you. Our digital displays come in multiple sizes. We've got 43-inch, 55-inch, all the way up to 98-inch. So depending on the environment that you'll be using in will depend on which panel you will go for. But we think we've got a real sort of flexible solution that can be offered. From a resolution perspective, you're looking at sort of a 4K resolution, 10-bit colour with an anti-glare screen on it. So when we were talking before about the projector screens and being able to use them in certain environments, having an anti-glare feature built into these panels really makes them compatible from anywhere from a dark, dingy sort of boardroom to a really open and office space or even reception area. You can really use these panels. 450 nits brightness, which gives you a really bright picture. Just note though, on our 98-inch, the nit brightness is slightly less at 350. I touched on before just about the slim bezel. So you're looking at a 9mm depth bezel. You may wonder why that's important. We do have a lot of solutions that we do put together for customers where you may put 3 or 4 of these panels together on a wall. So the slimmer the bezel, the more connected the picture will look across multiple panels being connected. And also we've got multiple connectivity points from 2 HDMI input buttons to USB 2 and 3, and then all VGA and audio in and out. So plenty of different connections availability to depending on what an organisation wants to be able to do with the panel. Our panels can also be displayed in 2 modes. So we've sort of got our landscape mode and then our portrait mode. So we don't generally refer to our non-touch panels as digital signage, and that's generally due because we don't have a fully fledged content management system for them. However, if you have your own third-party content management program, you can potentially use these for digital signage. So having that flexibility of being able to do landscape or portrait mode with the way you display the panels is really, really important. So another advantage of our non-touch digital displays comes around the inbuilt system. So all our panels come out with Android 8.0 built into them, and you do have the option from 65 inches and up to an 86-inch panel to be able to add an OPS, a Windows-based OPS to them. Obviously, this will change the costs associated with the panel, and it is optional. However, generally speaking, we do have the Android 8.0 built in, so you can download the apps that are required generally through Android to operate your panel. So unless you've got a specific requirement for Windows, most customers from a cost perspective will generally go with the Android 8.0 and just run with it from there. Our wireless screen share technology built within the digital displays allows you to have up to 4 devices connected at one time. So that, again, using our Maxhub share software, you do have the ability to share Android, Windows, Google, Chromecast, whichever platform you're using, you will be able to share that through our Maxhub share software. So it gives you real flexibility with what you can do and what you can share without having to connect different devices to use them. And that's where we really talk about that ease of use. How does it work? Pretty simply, it's a matter of downloading our Maxhub share software. You've then got the ability to connect on the same network. Or you've got if you're using a mobile device, you can just scan the QR code through our Maxhub share app and automatically start screen sharing, or through your PC, you can enter the 6-digit code as an example in that first image. And that will allow you to share. So some instances where we're seeing people wanting to be able to have multiple share capabilities is we have customers who are looking at situations where they might be having, as an example, a sales and marketing meeting. So they may have their sales manager and their marketing manager actually presenting, and a lot of their stuff will cross over as to what they're talking about. So giving them the ability to be able to share screens at the same time actually means you can talk to both spreadsheets as an example, and correlate across between what the information says. So it gives you a real opportunity to be very collaborative with what you're doing. Apologies for a couple of spelling mistakes I can see there, but also got the ability from a privacy perspective. So you can actually control what is being shared. So whether it's a desktop, whether it's a certain application, whether it's a certain file. So particularly from a management perspective, that can be very handy because obviously management can deal with a lot of sensitive information, and this can alleviate the opportunity for potentially any sensitive information being shared with people within an organisation that they don't want them to see. So you've got real control over what you can do there. We spoke at the start about our device management software. So that's called Vitello DMS. So that's available on all our non-touch digital displays. So this gives you the ability to be able to control the panels remotely. And this is where IT find this really, really valuable. So being able to control the remote screen share, being able to turn panels on and off remotely, reboot, push out software and applications that you want downloaded on panels. So you may have an organisation that may have panels set up all around the country, but the IT managers ran out of Melbourne. This gives them the ability to be able to control their hardware in any location from their own office. Also gives you the ability to do sort of firmware updates as well, and control all the applications that are on the panel. One thing, we do sell some of these into schools as well, and schools like the ability that their IT manager can actually lock and control the panels remotely. It just means that any content that's being shown is the right content and people aren't sharing stuff that shouldn't be shared. So really, really important. Probably lastly, with our DMS software, is it gives you the ability to also do data analytics. So be able to see in real time who's using the panels, when they're being used, how often they're being used, and gives you real control over that. So a couple of sort of solutions where we look at. So some of you may have joined us on a Maxhub session we did several weeks ago in one of these lunch and learns where we spoke about our interactive flat panels. Not only do we do interactive flat panels and now non-touch digital, but we also have a range of unified communications products. And as I spoke about at the start, a lot of customers now are wanting to sort of use that, I'll call it a one-stop shop, where they're using the one brand to deliver their full solution. Basically gives them real control then over if there is any support need or any issues, they're only dealing with the one vendor and not having to contact multiple vendors to get a solution for any problems or for something they're trying to do. So what we thought we'd do here is just give you some ideas around what we can do and how we can support when looking at our non-touch digital product as to what unified communications products work well with it. So this is a sort of scenario we're really starting to come across a lot, is these small sort of huddle meeting room spaces, particularly as we come out of COVID. We're finding a lot of companies are now starting to move to what we call a hybrid meeting solution. So where you've got some staff remote and you've got some staff based in the office on different days. So we're finding that the meetings that are attended in person have generally got less people than what they used to have. So they're really looking for a good solution that can work in a smaller environment. And this is sort of one of those. So I've got a customer at the moment who's actually looking at this exact solution with our 43-inch non-digital touch, where they've got a small huddle space meeting room where there might be 4 to 5 people sitting there, whether that's in a booth or actually in a room. They want to be able to put a small panel on the wall. They're looking at using our UC M30 camera, which is a 180-degree webcam. So it can capture everyone in the room, and then they're looking at putting one of our Bluetooth speakers on the table. These all working together as one device, so they can all connect to each other. So all the customer's got to do is just come in, plug in their laptop. They can wirelessly screen share their content straight up onto the digital display, connect their laptop to the M30 through the USB connection, and then they can start operating and running meetings remotely. So really, really simple, quite nice and compact solution. And this is sort of in a little bit more detail, just with some images of our 180 camera. So our 180-degree camera has a 6 video layout, and what that basically means is there's 6 different viewing options you can use for the camera. So depending on the environment they're using it in, they can actually change the video layout to suit. And then you've got our BM20, or we've got a BM21 Bluetooth speaker as well to compare with the camera, and it makes it just a nice, clean, neat solution altogether. Really simple to use. Other things we're starting to see now is something a little bit similar, is those sort of hybrid meeting spaces is where you might be using it in an open area in an office. So you do have the ability to put our non-touch digital displays onto mobile stands. So you can actually mount these on stands and move them around anywhere in the office. You can actually then pair that with one of our UC SO5 sound bars, or what we call a collaboration bar. Again, you've got the ability to wirelessly screen share straight to the digital display from your laptop. You plug into the sound bar with your through a USB connection, and then you're up and running your Zoom meeting or your Teams meeting, whichever application you're using, and utilising the benefit of the camera and the speaker on the sound bar. I personally think this is a really, really great solution when you can sit there and look at you've got 2 devices and that is all you need to run a full-blown video conferencing meeting. And being able to present remotely and wirelessly. I think this is a really, really good solution for customers that want that sort of bring your own device into a meeting room scenario. From there, this is just a little bit more detail around the different products. So I've sort of given you the highlights on our S05 meeting bar, but what I wanted to just quickly talk about was our mobile stands that we can connect with our digital displays. We have several types of trolleys, as we call them, that you can use. There is your normal, what I'll call an entry-level trolley, where you mount the display on it and it's fixed at a height and you can move it around. But we also have what's like in this picture here, which is our EST09 trolley, and this is actually an electric trolley that can be adjusted up and down. Now, if you have a scenario where a customer is wanting to put in a non-touch display but have the ability to be able to move it from room to room and use in different environments, I highly recommend using this trolley instead, because you can adjust the height based on the room you're using it in. So what that means is, when you've got the soundbar fixed on top of the non-touch digital display, it actually gives you the ability to be able to adjust the height to suit how many people are in the room, to make sure you've got everyone in the image. So really, really important. We also have what we call an ST11, which is actually the same thing. It's an electric trolley, but it also lays the panel flat. Now, in this situation, because it's a non-touch panel, you're probably not going to need that, but it is there as an option as well.
Craig, may I jump in there for 1 sec?
Sure, Ellie.
I apologise, everyone. I'm in transit, so I don't have my video on. I just wanted to quickly throw in there that as Craig said before, the 2 smaller panels can actually be used in a portrait position, not just landscape. And we do have a trolley that will actually allow you to rotate the panel while it's in situ. Now, we don't have that panel, we don't have that trolley in country yet. There is an MOQ that we need to reach, but by all means, if you've got interest, please chat to Scott, and we will do what we can to bring that item in for you. Thanks, Craig.
No worries. So now, sort of moving on to our larger meeting rooms, one of the things I haven't touched on yet, and I'm sure at some stage we'll do a session on this through Scott in one of these lunch and learns, is not only do we now have our non-touch displays, our interactive panels and our unified comms products, but we also do LED walls as well. So these range from 110 inch up to 220 inch in size, and can be mounted on trolleys as well. So there will be some meeting rooms where people will look at putting in an LED wall and using a non-touch digital display as well together. But obviously there will be a lot of situations where, because our non-touch go up to 98 inch, you may not need that, but it is an optional way of setting up rooms. But in this scenario, you may look at putting in a 98 inch non-touch digital display with one of our P20 PTZ cameras, and then utilising the benefit of using 2 of our UC-BM21 Bluetooth speakers, which can be spread down a boardroom table. Again, all branded Maxhub, all being managed by us, which all connect together and work well together. So gives you that type of solution. Here's just some images on those products that we've just been talking about. Our BM21 speakers have 8 microphones inbuilt, 6 metre sound radius, sorry, 6 array microphones, I should say, not 8, and a 6 metre sound radius. So you can see how we can really cover a table by putting 2 of those together. We can actually daisy chain them together as well. which means we can connect the speakers to each other so they work together, so we can spread them down the table. And as mentioned before, our LED walls, they come out in multiple sizes, but generally ranging from 120 inch up to 220 inch, which we can help you on as well. From here, we sort of move around to that sort of education space where we're talking about lecture halls, looking at ways that we can support by putting in one of our large LED displays and then looking at putting non-touch digital either side. The benefit, again, is around being able to connect Maxhub products to each other and making them work seamlessly together just through HDMI cables. Really, really simple solution. One of the things I do love, though, about this solution is we do have a smart lectern available as well. So basically our smart lectern has its own screen on the lectern, so you can actually connect it and see what is being displayed up on the wall without actually having to turn around and see it. It's actually on the lectern in front of you. You're able to change the slides. You're able to do any movements you need through the lectern rather than having to use any remote equipment to do so. Again, now we're sort of starting to look away from our meeting rooms to using our digital displays in a more sort of like reception area in other parts of the business where you can actually connect these all together. You can actually, as is in this example, there's 3 panels there, panel A, B and C, all connected together, all controlled through the IT admin, through our Vitello DMS software. And through the built-in player, you can actually connect them so they all work together at the same time. Again, then moving on from there, you're looking at being able to, here's an example of where you could potentially use them in not in portrait mode, not in landscape mode. And then obviously being able to connect multiple panels together with the thin bezel, the 9mm bezel, makes a really, really good, makes a really, really clean and crisp solution. Finally, here's a little bit of information on all the different sizes and the brightness resolutions, the different viewing angles, and some of the key specs that you may need to know. Please note it is only our 43 inch and our 55 inch that can go into portrait mode at this stage. But if you require any further information, please reach out. Just a couple of things. We do get asked the question a lot of the times about why would I look at going down this path when I can just go down to a retail store and purchase a normal TV and put it on the wall. A few things to consider with that. Obviously, our non-touch digital displays are really, really well priced in the market. Now, as a vendor, we don't normally talk about price. However, it is worth noting that we're really, really competitive in this space. The other couple of things to consider is these panels are designed for business, so they're designed to be on 24/7. They're designed to be used for long periods of time. You can see on the spec sheet here that the lifetime of these is for sort of more than 30,000 hours is what's expected from a lifetime perspective. So you should find that the lifespan of one of these digital displays compared to a normal retail type TV is a lot longer. They're also less complex. So because they've got Android built into them, they're designed to work as a display and as a presentation type device. So less complex means there's less likelihood of having any issues. And finally is storage. There is some inbuilt storage into all of our panels, so people can actually store files on there if they need to that they want to use as an example. It might be a marketing campaign. They've got several advertising slides that they want to put up there. This gives them the ability to do so. Finally, we advertised this in our last lunch and learn we did with Alloy. We're giving everyone one last chance to try and join our partner program. So our MAPS program, as we call it, is a partner scheme where any reseller can sign up to. And the idea of this program is that we work closely with you. We can keep you across promotions, new product launches, and support you with project pricing and any opportunities you have. As a special through March, so we've only got a day and a half to go on this. Anyone that signs up to our partner program at the moment will receive a free UCW20 webcam. Please email me. My email address there is on the screen if you'd like to join it. now that is all you need to do. If you can send me an email saying I'd love to be part of your program, we can do the rest for you, and we'll put you in the program and give you one of our W20 webcams. We do have the ability you can earn through our partner program free product from us over time. So if we hit certain sales goals with you and with Alloy, we can actually provide you with some free product as well. So we think this partner scheme is really, really good, because we think if we can put some product in your hand that you can use and test and play with, that you can also share with your customers, it'll help you and us generate more sales. Finally, thank you for your time today. I think we've done really well. We've got 3 minutes to spare. So I will, once again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the time at the time of month it is. We really do appreciate you joining us. If you've got any questions, we're still here online. If there's anything you want to put in the chat, that we can try and answer for you now.
Thank you so much, Craig. That was really, really insightful. So guys, if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them up on the chat or the QA panel, and we can get Craig or Kelly to answer them for you now.
I might just talk for a couple of minutes while and just kind of stall everyone, if that's okay, Scott.
You do that, Kelly. That's totally fine.
Awesome. I don't mind a soapbox. I think everyone knows that. I just wanted to throw in there just a little bit of food for thought. So displays are in general getting larger, and even more so over the last couple of years. Now, part of that is just the natural cycle of technology. As it becomes more cost effective, we want the bigger, the biggest and the best that we can afford. But some of it is actually due to the restrictions, I guess, that we have around social distancing, and we're trying to keep people in classrooms, in auditoriums, in offices a little bit further spaced. So please don't discount those larger displays. When we look at a large boardroom, anything over an 86-inch as an interactive actually becomes a little bit redundant in a lot of cases, because you can't reach a big portion of the display. So in those larger environments, a non-touch would in most cases be a preferable solution. Also, we have done an install where we've actually put an 86-inch interactive next to an 86-inch non-touch, which was a solution I really liked. So they could use interactivity on one side of the screen and simply be displaying maybe whatever it is they're talking to on the other panel. So keep that in mind as a potential solution as well.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea, Kelly, because when we're talking about Teams rooms, for example, when we're using a dual screen solution for a Teams room, we've got content on one screen and we've got the fire room participants on the second screen. So being able to have that touch screen on the content allows you to kind of interact with that content and share that into your Teams meeting, and utilizing that kind of non-interactive screen for the remote participants only. So that's actually, yeah, that's good. I like that.
It's a lot more cost effective than trying to convince them to get two IFPs side by side.
Yeah. All right, guys, if there's no questions, we'll finish there. Craig, you did an awesome job.
Yeah,
Smack bang on 1
Sorry,
o'clock.
Scott, there is a quick question from Brianna. Does Maxhub have product training material with benefits, etc., not necessarily just brochures, or a Maxhub training hub online? So we do have training material that we can provide to you, Brianna, not a problem. We can also, my role as one of the channel managers for Maxhub is to actually support in field with you. So if you do have customers that you want to engage with us on, we're more than happy to help you. Obviously, we can't quote directly or anything. Everything comes back through you and through Alloy. So please feel free to engage with us. We have also in the process of setting up what we call Maxhub College, which will be an online training program. So more than happy to keep you in the loop on that as well, if you like.
I've just got one more thing to add to that. I'm so sorry. I'm always the one butting in with more talking. You guys will be the first to hear it. We've actually engaged with a third-party company to host and manage some self-paced quite in-depth online training. So stay tuned. We'll get information to you very soon. I think we should be due for release within the next 2 or 3 weeks. You'll be able to go through whatever training is appropriate for you, whether you're sales or technical. You can choose your product and you can choose the various modules, all self-paced, online, and all certified. So I promise that we will, via Scott, we'll let you know as soon as that's available.
Awesome, Kelly. Sounds great.
Just finally, thanks, David. Absolutely happy to add you to our Maxhub program, partner program. If anyone else would like to be added to it, I've just put my email address in the chat if you quickly want to take it down. We're more than happy to add whoever else is on the call would like to join our program.
Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you so much, Kelly. Appreciate all of your time, and also everybody else who come on and join the presentation today. Really do appreciate your time. As Craig said, end of month, really tough time. Do appreciate everybody jumping on and getting involved in the lunch and learn session.
Thank you so much, Scott, and everyone else. Thanks heaps.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
All right, enjoy your afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.